It seems like every year that goes by, our bodies are breaking down more and more and more. Externally, our body, our joints are achy more and more as we age. And internally, it feels like our metabolism is breaking down, and the stuff that used to work to help us lose weight is no longer working. Hi, I'm Dawson with ResetU, and today we're going to talk about how to reset the years of damage to your metabolism, specifically inflammation. So think of inflammation in your gut, chronic inflammation to be specific, like your body's foreign self-defense mechanism. And whenever you eat bad food or processed foods or foods that just don't agree with your body gets gassy and bloated, and that's basically an inflammatory response. That means there's a war going on in your gut. Well, that war causes things like depression, anxiety, higher levels of stress, lower sex drive, and what's most important for this one, slower metabolism function, meaning the more inflammatory foods you eat, the more inflammation your gut gets, the slower your body processes the calories you're eating. Now, we all know there's a strict ratio of calories in versus calories out. Like, you gotta eat a caloric deficit and burn a caloric deficit. But what if your body isn't burning calories at the rate it should? Then everything's off and you feel busted and nothing works. Well, if you're like most Americans, you are chronically inflamed. In fact, over 71% of the American population is overweight. And if you're overweight, that means you have a problem with chronic inflammation, because that messed up inflammatory response in your gut is causing you to be overweight. So we're gonna reset it. The first thing we wanna talk about is your ratio of omegas, omega-3 and omega-6. Now, in the United States, the ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 is actually 1 to 17. The ratio is supposed to be 1 to 1, or at worst 1 to 3. And the ratio is actually 1 to 17. Put that in your head for a second. How bad is that? What's happening then is after year after year after year of damage, your body's functionalities just aren't working anymore. So today, I'm gonna go over some tips on how you can reverse inflammation. So step number 1, stop eating out. If you're eating out, even if it's at a salad bar, at Whole Foods, you're eating canola oil. This thing, canola oil. And even if it says organic canola oil, that just means that it wasn't sprayed with pesticides. It's not good for you. This is high in omega-6 and trans fats, and this is going to destroy your gut. The terrible thing about this is very, very, very cheap in most restaurants, most fast food places, most places that you're Uber Eatsing, Postmatesing, Door Dashing. They're all using this on their foods, coating in it, frying it in it. So even if you have a chicken salad, it's cooked in this. It's not gonna be healthy. It's going to destroy your gut. So instead of doing that, start cooking from home. That way you control the ingredients. Then you can fry your foods in avocado oil. Or you can cook them in olive oil. Or if you wanna get really, really, really fancy, coconut oil. That way, the foods that you're eating don't cause dangerous inflammation in your gut. And it's crazy, after a couple of days, you'll actually notice that your stomach feels flatter and there's a lot less bloat and gas going on, because now there's not a war going on in your gut. Step number 2, when you are cooking from home, make sure you're eating the right types of ingredients. I know it may not seem like that big of a difference, but when you go to the store, do not buy deli meat. Don't buy meat that's chopped up and processed. That's gonna cause inflammation. And when you do buy meat that's not even processed, make sure it's from a good source. You don't want factory farm meat. All those meats are gonna be high in omega-6. Those cows and chickens are all fed things like grain and corn and things to fatten them up and make them more tasty, and also, sweeten the wallets of everybody that's making those meats. And that's why they're so cheap too. All that gunk and nasty stuff goes into your body and you have more omega-6s. So, some cheaper ideas are, you can go to the grocery store and get their grass-fed meat, or you can go online and subscribe to something like Cook's Venture here, where you have grass-fed meats shipped to you at a lower price. Then in your freezer, you've got all of the grass-fed meats that aren't gonna cause inflammation, aren't gonna cause bloating, and all those other bad things we talked about at a much lower price. On top of that, make sure that if you're using butter, it's from grass-fed cows. The milk is from grass-fed cows or pasture-raised cows. And if you're eating chicken eggs, they're either from cage-free chickens or pasture-raised chickens if you can find it. That way you know the source of your food is actually coming from the right place. And last but not least, number 3, The third way to cut inflammation: stop drinking soda and stop drinking diet soda. Those things are full of stuff like sucralose or aspartame, and those sweeteners, even though they say 0 calories, are still gonna destroy your gut. And I would guess that I don't have to say this. I hope I don't have to say this, but stop drinking alcohol. Even if it's wine or you don't have any chasers in it and it's just hard alcohol, it's still gonna cause damage to your gut, which is gonna cause inflammation, which is going to make your metabolism slower. So even if it doesn't cause immediate damage and you look on the scale the next morning and you didn't gain any weight, you're going to over time. Remember, this is compound damage over years of time. So in summary, number 1, start cooking from home and use correct oils, use correct things so you're not getting inflammation in your gut. Stop ordering in, stop being lazy. Actually go after your goal, go after your fitness. Number 2, use the right types of meats and eggs. I cannot stress this enough. It may cost a little bit more money, but it's going to save you from being bloated, gassy, and gaining weight and killing your metabolism. It's worth it. And number 3, drink some water. Drink normal things. Stop drinking sodas, diet sodas, 0 calorie sodas, anything that has sucralose, aspartame in it, and chill out on the alcohol. Now guys, if you follow those instructions, I promise you, you will have a flat, trim stomach in no time and your metabolism will be humming. Now before I leave you, if you haven't already done so, make sure you share this to your page. Because if it's gone, you're never gonna see it again. You're not gonna know these tips. So make sure you share it. And on top of that, you wanna share this knowledge, right? You don't wanna be the only one that's super fit and has a fast metabolism and no inflammation. That's just selfish. Make sure you share it. Speak soon.